Okay, hello and welcome. This is going to be a Space Engineers build stream, and I will explain what I'm about to do in just a moment here. All right, so what I wanted to do today is I enjoy taking the opportunity to build things that are um, I wouldn't say outside my comfort zone, but really I think just having um, the motivation or the desire to build something new and different from what I've made before or what I usually make is appealing to me. And it's, I would imagine probably to most people that like to design and build things. But anyway, let me do a sound check real quick here. Right. Oh my goodness. All right. Here and oh, I don't have a sound check tool. All right. Well, let's do it a little different today. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I don't think that was a good approach. Let's go to the old standby. Oh, I can barely hear the audio at all. It's up a lot, too. All right, we need that and that. All right. Here. Wait, I hear the beeps and the chirps of the UI. Oh, I guess it's just, I have realistic sound on, so I guess everything is muted since, obviously, I'm in space. All right, well, whatever. Oh, yeah, that's way different. Okay, oh, let's try this. There we go. All right, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okie dokie. All right, we're gonna bring the game down just a tad. Okay. All right, so back to space. So today, what I wanted to do, I was thinking. So, all right, I need to sort of collect my thoughts. How do I want to express this? Let's do it like this. Donnybrook. Warhead. Ah, okay, okay. I don't need that anymore. Warhead. Delete. All right, here we go. Mark II, Donnybrook. All right, so this is my capital ship from season 1 of the Nightfall server of the final mission. And then here, oh, that's not it. Oh, what was it called? There it is. And here's another ship that I was working on the other day. And if you notice, there are some similarities. I think the most obvious are the fact that I really like large custom railgun turrets, which is cool, except that unless you are on a server that has a multi-grid projector plug-in, these are an absolute pain in the ass to repair. They're fine to use, like, I mean, they work great, but as soon as they take the smallest amount of damage, they're a pain to repair. They're a pain to build in the first place, because you got to build all the pieces and then assemble them manually in game with like using tugboats and shit, moving things together, and then attaching the rotors and hinges and hoping shit doesn't blow up, or you have some rotor lock on or off, or your angle settings are wrong. And then after you have everything attached, you have to reconnect all of the logic between like the hinges, the custom turret controllers, and if you use sensors for fire interlock systems, or if you use event controllers to use like provide visual indicators for the weapon ready state, or literally anything else, you have to reconnect all of that, and it's really frustrating. And then if you want to be able to repair these things, best case, you can find a way to add a projector block to every component, like the turret base, and then one to each of the gun subgrids, which is actually really awkward, especially for the gun part. Turret base, you can usually find a place to put one in, but it's still, you've got to have a separate projector. It's a mess. So if you have a single ship with a single turret with 2 guns on it, that is 4 projectors you've got to maintain right there. You got to keep them all correct. If you change the blueprint, you got to update all 4. It's a mess. And then you still have to like I said, reconnect all the logic. It's a pain. If anything gets damaged, usually you have to scrap like whatever's, especially if it's badly damaged, you have to scrap whatever that is and up and rebuild everything and then reassemble anything. It is a royal freaking pain. And God forbid, like on the Donnybrook, wait, do I still have it in? Yeah, on the Donnybrook, it's not immediately obvious when you first look at it because of the big turrets, but it actually has a lot of little turrets that are also subgrids. So this thing is a mess of subgrids. And I mean, this ship's cool and it's great, and we actually did build it and get and operate it in the final mission, season 1, and that was cool and all. But man, I was always worried. Like it's a total glass cannon, right? It's devastating firepower. It's super nimble, because the guns are all turreted. The firepower can be brought to bear in way more scenarios than a ship with like fixed rail guns. So super versatile, but it's incredibly delicate. You hit the armor, and like out here, and if it deforms at all and pushes into the base of this turret, now you got clang issues going on. You got mess. Same with any of this armor here. If it deforms into like the gun here, same with this like all of these, it's a mess. And like I said, being able to repair all it sucks. So I used to play all the time on, well, mostly single player games, but I always use the multi-grid projector plugin. But I haven't used the plugins really since Plugin Loader was retired. I haven't switched over to anything else yet, so I'm still in limbo. I haven't picked anything else out to use. Still waiting for to hear what the jury says regarding, which one's good, safe, and reliable. Mostly safe. So anyway, one thing I appreciated during the final mission series was that the ships that belong to Arlen and I don't know, my two teammates. Until the very end, they didn't use subgrid turrets at all. They were basically a single grid, a single entity. It was just, you got a ship, you got the standard turrets on it, and that's that, which means it's incredibly easy to repair. You fly into a build and repair area, or you fly over it with welders, you turn on your projector, a few seconds later, boom, the ship's repaired, it's fully functional. All your logic linkages are there, and there's not as much in the first place, but if you have some, it's all there. So today I was thinking, and I don't normally build ships like that at all. I like ships that have moving parts. I like to have big, like, turrets that move, whatever. But today I was thinking I'm going to try and build a ship like that with like no moving parts. It's going to be a capital ship. And it's going to be easy to build and easy to maintain. Also, I normally build my ships to be extremely fast. I would rather not get hit in the first place than be able to repair the damage. That is a philosophy opposite of what Idano and Arlen do as well. They build big, heavy, like double and triple and double and triple thick layers of heavy armor dreadnoughts. So I wanted to kind of try to do something similar. This is an absolute weakness of mine. So that's kind of what I wanted to do today. Now, I will be building in light armor. I use a mod called the Armor Replacer. Oops. And what that does is this allows you to change any armor you want from light to heavy and back again. So what I do is I build in light, and then when I'm done, I can convert it all. I can convert it all at once, like this. So I can just go here, boom. It's all heavy. It's all light. So it's really versatile. It's a really old mod, but it's super useful, and it seems like not a lot of people. It's kind of one of those, like, people don't really seem to know about it. Super great, super helpful. Anyway, so I'm gonna build in light armor. The other day I was building in heavy armor as kind of a first attempt at what I'm doing today. And what in the fuck? Right on. One thing I was building with heavy armor. Now, granted, I was in a world that had a lot of other stuff being built in it at the same time. It's a multiplayer world. So this might be biased. Oh shit. But it seemed like even though I was in creative mode and I was building with heavy armor, it seemed like it wasn't as responsive as if I was building with light armor, because I later on switched to building with light armor and the game seemed to get a little more responsive. And I was wondering if maybe this doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But it was the first thing I thought was maybe it's the difference between what's in them, the components. When you place a block here, it's 25 pieces of steel versus if I place a heavy armor block, it's 150 pieces of steel and 50 metal grids. I don't know. So my original thinking was like, well, maybe it's more things, but it's just data. It's just numbers. You know, it's an enumeration with a value, and whether it represents a 0 or 5 billion, like, it's the same amount of data is used to store that number. So I don't see why that would matter, but it did seem to make a difference. So anyway, I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to build in light armor and then convert it to heavy when I'm done. So let's get started. I've kind of rambled for long enough. Now, I'm absolutely terrible at making large ships. The Donnybrook, which was the first one I showed just now, I think took me 3 consecutive streams that were roughly 5 to 6 hours each And then I think I also worked on it for another 5 to 10 hours off camera to build that. So this type of large building does not come easily or quickly to me. Yeah, and then the results are like, I'm happy with how the Donnybrook looks, but it's still, I think it's still kind of a basic design, especially when you look at the sorts of warships that that Arlen or Idano made, or any, go on the workshop. You look at any ship on the workshop, and they're absolute masterpieces. So, so my theory, my approach has always been kind of like, start with basic shapes and then add detail. And it's a sound strategy. Like it's an intuitive and reasonable sounding strategy. The reality is I don't have much success with it, so I don't know if it's actually a good strategy. The other reality is it's kind of the only strategy I really have. So, all right, so we have a 3 up, we have an odd number across. So I'm not really sure how big this is going to be, but I'm thinking to kind of reflect. Now, I was just talking about how like beautiful and detailed all, you know, some of these other chips are, and how I'm not very good at that. I was thinking for this one, I would sort of keep the shape somewhat basic. At least it doesn't have to be a basic shape, but I was thinking it would sort of have like you could see basic lines in it, to kind of reflect the design principles that I'm going to follow. That's the idea. So we'll see how well this goes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just starting out here. With kind of a central hull area and then some bits that extend off the side in a slightly tiered manner. And then, so I don't want to go the gun spam, like just boring gun spam approach. So I do want some thought put into what weapons are where. At the same time, I do expect there will be a lot of them. Because I have built warships, large warships, large-ish warships that are just gun spam. And they're generally kind of low effort designs, and they don't usually work well, so I'm not trying to do that. Here is oh, well, I guess I can't show it to you. I don't know what it was called. Let me see. It was a warship, hydrogen and ion with jump drives. Oh, just realized this is actually kind of the route that I'm going. You can see it's, so this will be an easy ship to build and repair because there are no subgrids on it. And although it has some detail, you can tell that the design is still fairly simplistic, and you can see elements of what's basically a box. It's a box, a small box on top, and slightly wider boxes on the side, and guns on it. That's that's actually kind of what I'm trying to do, except a little bit bigger. All right, and I don't know what the other ship that I wanted to show is, but fine. There we go. All right, so okay. So I guess this will be some sort of front. One thing, a lot of times what I like to do is sort of come up with a general shape. There's some very basic layouts that I think can work very well. For example, you've got all right. So you've got this. This is where the whole ship is basically a square or a cylinder, and it can have some detail, but for the most part, that's the main shape, right? Thrusters at the back, pointy bits at the front and down the sides, top, and all that. And then you've got things like you've got what many people like to call is the classic dick shape, where you've got basically the same ship, but now you've got large engine nacelles on the sides at the back. And this, if you're not paying attention, you can end up with this design pretty easy, and much to the chagrin of many a shipbuilder. So one thing I have found, this has happened to me too. You're building, you're like, oh, this will be cool, and then you realize, oh, I made a space penis. So one thing you can do to avoid this is add some height and then make these trail off like so, or raise them up. So, or extend them out and into like struts. So this block here I just added would probably be thinner. So you kind of have something like that. So you have like an H. Like that. Boom. No more genitalia. All right. So that's good. Oh, another popular approach I've seen is the make it look like a gun. So if you look at it like a pistol or shotgun or assault rifle from the side, from about the pistol, the trigger forward, a lot of like bigger warships that are on the workshop, that they bear striking resemblance. The shotgun design is really popular, which is kind of like this, except the bottom part's a little fatter, and it may be like so. But other designs that I think are pretty cool. So you take the center piece, and then you, instead of putting the engine pods on the back, you put them in the middle, right? Or you put them towards the front, right? Like so. So either one of those will be pretty good. And then there's also what I call like what I think of as like the hammerhead, where you might have something like this. So you kind of have a really wide front, maybe for mounting lots of like forward-facing railguns or something. So something like that. You can put thrusters on the like thruster nacelles or pods or whatever you want to call them, either on struts or just slapped onto the side of the hull. Put them in front. It's not the greatest design for a warship because, well, the front is where you're going to get hit. Off, like most likely, you're going to get hit in the front, and that puts your propulsion at risk. And then also, you are spending space on propulsion that you would probably be better off spending for either armor or weapons. So, like towards the front might be fine. It's kind of an interesting design, sort of like a tadpole, or maybe like a manta ray type thing, where you kind of have this wider front, well, something like that. Or you can go back here and go again with your nacelles, and of course, simple variations like adding a slight up or downward element. So like for here, if you did, let's do this. So if you added a downward element like so, right? That's the same shape right there. Boom. That's pretty cool, you know. And you could easily, you know, do the upward. You know, that's pretty cool. Actually, for a combat ship, that's not a bad design, especially if I don't know about how other people do, but when I am flying and I'm trying to evade incoming fire, I usually like to have the aggressor on my side, like directly to my side here, as opposed to looking at me like that, which is a bigger target. I like to have them at my side, and then I will pull up, and usually it ends up, because I want my forward guns to be able to target the aggressor, I'm usually at an angle like this. So this right here, where I am, where the camera is now, about where I like to keep the aggressor. And then as I'm pulling up, that means I'm going to be at this angle. And what that does is it puts the engines the farthest away from anything getting hit, and actually blocks one of the nacelles entirely with the body of the ship, which to me seems like a smart approach. Oh yeah, we're upside down. So up is probably a good design. Interesting. So I was reading something. This is a couple years ago, but they were studying. Some researchers were studying how birds of prey hunt, and like in the air, and how they manage to understand the 3D spatial relationship of like the other birds in the air that they're hunting with. You've got basically you've got 2 points in the air. They both have you know, position, velocity, rotation, and then anticipating where they're going, and then figuring out like what angle at the speeds that the relative speeds are going, and the speeds are capable of going to close the gap and attack. And one of the things I remember, I don't remember a lot of the details, but one thing that I do remember that struck me was they said that the way the eyes work on whatever particular bird they were talking about was, they're like what the bird does is the bird keeps the target that their prey, they keep it at basically this same thing here that I was showing. It's like right here. So imagine this is the bird, and the eyes are, well, I guess the bird's eyes are, for hunters, they'd be on the front. They'd have angular. So, oh, hello Disco Pistons, what's going on, man? So like this is like the bird's field of view, right? So what they do is they keep the bird, their prey, about at it's either forward and to the side and below, or forward and to the side and above, and that's like where the bird's like eyes, like that's like their resting spot or something. Or this is part of the details that are getting a little fuzzy, but basically it doesn't matter what the target bird is doing, and it doesn't matter what the predator bird is doing, as long as the predator always keeps that prey bird in this position. The physics of everything will just work out so that this attacker closes the range. And it was really fascinating. And that may have influenced kind of my approach to fighting. I'm not sure, but it has always stuck with me. So, bird's eye view, yes. Also, hello. I didn't know. Oh, you need that mod. It's called the. Geez, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you guys were in here. Yeah, it's called the Armor Replacer. Yeah. The Urquan Dreadnought. Oh, man, it does look like that, doesn't it? Oh, yeah. Oh, that was such a classic. But I think the Urquan Dreadnought, wasn't that basically a ripoff of like, it's like a mix of like a Battlestar, and I mean, it was basically a Battlestar, wasn't it? Anyway, yeah. Man, I love Star Control. Oh, I love Star Control. Oh, what a great game. All right, so anyway, yeah, so designs. I like a good vertical design. So you guys popped in. I'm sorry, I don't know how long you've been here. I was kind of lost in my babbling. I love a good vertical design, but man, do I suck at them. Actually, this right here is suggestive of Arlen's ship. Just basically Arlen's ship is cool because it looks basically like the body of a Formula One car. If you took the wheels off, and then on the front, it's got a beak. Like so. That's basically Arlen's ship. And then, well, by the time I got exposed to it, he had basically added some kind of wings on the back. But this area up here, kind of in the middle and towards the front, it's if you look at it, it looks like a Formula One car because it's like it's real, like it's kind of squat looking, and like it's got the bits on the car that go stick out between the wheels. I don't know. I don't know shit about Formula One cars. Anyway, yeah. So that actually is. So that's another common design is instead of engine nacelles, you do some sort of kind of wing. So you've got. I've done this one. Let's see here. Here. Oh. So I've done this, basically the plus, right? Not for like I don't really do a lot of like frontline like combat ships. I kind of lean more towards like the support vessels or the indirect fire, anyway. So the things don't necessarily need to be designed like a tank. They could be designed like artillery or a fighter jet or whatever. So I've done like this. We've got wings that just kind of come out, and then you've got they'll usually have like engines in them. So let's see what else. You could do like delta wings. The design I showed earlier, I had tried to do that. I'd build big delta wings. Wait a minute. Like so. This is kind of what Arlen's ship did. Delta wings. For whatever reason, I like engine nacelles. I'm kind of realizing that as I sit here. I feel like, especially on big ships, having this big kind of distinctive nacelles adds character. I don't know if that's really the right way to describe it, but I feel like it adds some visual interest to the design. I find a lot of big ships, they basically, especially if you put the nacelles on the side, like so you're like, oh, they're my nacelles. They're not actually nacelles, so it's just with the thrusters like in the back on the side, right? And then if you make the front of the ship a little wider, like so, well, that's the general shape of the ship, you can build up, maybe down. I don't know. All right, this design here is really appealing to me. How are you guys doing today? How about something like that? Oh, right. Yeah. So I don't know. All right. So that's a very unique design. Yeah, you don't see that very often at all. So I don't know ship is So his is kind of like you have the central core, which goes back to the what I started with over here, which was like one of the more common designs for large ships. And then what he's done, instead of adding, say, nacelles on the sides or whatever on the or on struts or whatever, he has built a ring around his. So his would be like so. So that's his. That's very unusual. I don't see that very often at all. Make it like the Carrier Resolute in Exo Squad. Hello, Bozidar Strike. Bozidar Sturk. Bozy. Hey man, or hello there. What's going on? Disco Pistons. I am not familiar with. I never watched Exo Squad. I remember when it came out, and it just didn't hit the right buttons for me, so I never watched it. But I remember. There may be other reasons. I don't remember, but I do remember when it came out. Like I used to watch like Mask and GI Joe and Transformers, and I think there was something else kind of along those lines. But yeah, when Exo Squad came out, I was really into Power Armor and giant robots like BattleTech and all that. I played BattleTech, the tabletop role-playing game, and all that. And yeah, that thing came out, or Exo Squad came out, and I was like, oh, it's not working for me. Wing Commander. Oh, okay, yeah. So I'm a little embarrassed. I actually never played Wing Commander. I never had a computer that was good enough to play Wing Commander. So whenever I would try and play any sort of like sim, like real-time sim game, I would be running at like 5 frames a second. It was terrible. So. What about something like? All right, so there's the catamaran design, right? I've seen that. And a lot of times there'll be, well, this is more like a sigh. But like the catamaran design, which would be like you basically got twin hulls and then a large area in the back, usually full of like thrusters or maybe like a large cargo or a small cargo bay or something. I kind of like that. And then a lot of times I'll see people like slope these down. Oh, that's working for me. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna come up. That's the design I want, and then maybe even. There we go. There we go. That's it. Yay, this was useful. Gravedigger told me you can have a good interior but a bad exterior, or bad exterior and a good interior. But we build to break that rule. I think that's pretty sound. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty sound. I think that comes down to a lot like, nobody's good at everything, and people are just drawn to, different aspects of ship design. And it also, I think it also depends on the scale you build at. For example, one of the nice things that Arlen and I don't know say to me on a fairly routine basis is, your ships have such nice interiors. And I think every time they've ever said that, the ships that they've been looking at are actually fairly small compared to what they build. And trying to think of something I could bring up to show. But the thing is, like, So when you have a ship like, say we ignore the outside and we say, yes, this is going to be the interior. I need to make it look awesome. I would have a hard time with that. And I've seen, I don't know, I've seen you kind of have make similar statements like, I don't know what to do with this space. Whereas if my ship interior was, like this, let me see. I made, this is one of the original economy ships that every time there was, for a while, every time there was an update, I would remodel it. And if you see the vanilla one, let me show you the vanilla one. It's so awful. TT 20. Vanilla. Please tell me I have it. It's such a stark contrast because I haven't seen it in forever. And then, oh no, I don't have it. Damn it. 420. Oh, I do. Woohoo. All right. We're going to do a little tour here. This is the original TT420 from the economy update. Okay. This is a ship you could buy in the economy stations. Nice blue and white. It's got this area to fly the ship from. Very high visibility, right? You got 180-degree vis. That's pretty good. You've got docking connector with a door right above it, which is not a bad design. Let's open this. All right. This right here, you got stairs. Man, look how old that is. Stairs right out of the door. Unless you have gravity on your ship, this is a pain in the ass to get through. So I would consider this a design flaw, and every remodel that I've done has maintained that flaw. Because anyway, this is the ship. This is what it used to look like. Okay, you get in there, you can fly it around. Over here, you got some passenger area, an LCD, air, survival kit, cargo. You can come up here, and it was like a bunk area. All right, so that's awful, right? In all fairness, Airgath didn't have much to work with at the time. Nobody did, right? All right, so that was the original. So this one is, let's see. Mark III. So this would have been, I started playing the game right before the Frostbite update. So there was a Frostbite, and then whatever the next two updates were is when I would have made this version. So I generally start on the outside and do some cosmetic stuff. This was actually one I played with in game a bit, so I modded it to, or I modified it to have all three types of thrusters. That's why you see some ions kind of snuck in here and there. And then if you go inside, so I maintain that same original design flaw, but we have real stairs. Yeah, it's a hassle without gravity. And you've got, oh, it's so much nicer. I got rid of the second floor because it did nothing. Added some sky windows. Nice proper command chair. You still got that excellent field of view, but it feels more spacious. By opening up the front, it's got a much bigger area. You got a nice big LCD there with a programmable block hidden in the floor, running automatic LCDs, which is very nice. More info there. The new, oh, this would have been right after the Sparks of the Future update. Yep. And then we've got a full, there's no survival kit, so that's lost. But we have a full med bay, which is nice. And some lockers. So this is a nice interior. You've got a little place to cook. You got air. It's spacious. So this sort of ship that usually when Arlen or I don't know are like, man, you do nice interiors, it's usually something like this. It's a fair amount smaller. And then what'll happen is we'll be inside one of their dreadnoughts in an area like this, and they'll be like, man, I'm not sure what I would like. I'm terrible at interior or whatever. And honestly, I'd say the same thing. I'm like, man, I wouldn't know what to do in all this. So I think my point was, the smaller the ship, sometimes the easier, not to a point, right? The smaller ships can be easier to make nice interiors. And I think that's one of my strengths, is building on a slightly smaller or a lot smaller scale than you guys do. And so when I build my interiors, I can let the blocks do a lot of work for me. If you've ever seen some of the video of like I don't know, your ship, you've got those awesome, like those corridors, right? Those corridors are like 3x3 because you've got catwalk, you've got light underneath, they're super elaborate, right? And take a lot of space because you have a lot of space to fill, right? I'm not sure I could make a corridor like that elaborate, because I'm like, oh, you need a corridor, right? Done. That's my corridor. But if I'm building on a smaller ship, this corridor is amazingly well detailed, right? I didn't do it, but there it is. Whereas if you have a lot of space like this, you kind of got to make that detail yourself. So I think there's strengths and weaknesses, and then there's also like certain approaches to design that can work for or against your strengths and weaknesses. So I don't genuinely believe you guys are not, well, you often have said, I'm not good at interior design. I don't think that's I suspect that that's probably not as true as you think it is. I think it's because you're building so big. The amount of empty space to fill gets overwhelming. Because I feel that too. Like when you were working on that space station, you had a huge, large area at the top, the command center, and you're like, "Hey, Patrick, can you help me do the interior?" And I kind of felt the same way. I was like, I don't know what to put in here. There's so much space, and a table is only so big. So anyway, I get it. Okay, but you know what? I'm happy with this. So I think what I should do then is just, right? My ship is done, just like that, right? Let's see if we can scale it up a little bit more, though. My first introduction to PC RTS was Homeworld on a friend's computer. It blew my mind. I've never played Homeworld. I've seen screenshots. I don't know. Don't you play? Isn't that a game that you're familiar with? You play? All right. So I think to build this, I will start out this central block area. I think that'll be the easiest to start with. I'm going to make this. Every time I do something and I think, this is really big, I'm like, oh, it's not. I see like the stuff that like I don't know and Arlen make, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is not big at all. So I'm gonna go 3. I'm gonna go 5. We're gonna go 5 wide. Yeah, that's not big at all. And then I was thinking a 5x5x5 cube. So let's instead double it. So there's another 5. Actually, we'll do 6 so that it's 11. And then here. And then here we're going to go there. Okay. We're going to do like so. And all right, 1, 2, 3, there we go. 8, 9, 10. So that's 11 there. Here. Bring this one down. All right. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, great. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that's odd. Okay. Yep. And then this way we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, perfect. Sweet. All right, so I'm thinking this is the core. Now I already feel like this is probably not going to be close to, once again, the size of the warships at Idano and Arlen Field. But I am okay with that. I'm still building far larger than I'm accustomed to. So mission accomplished as far as getting out of my comfort zone. So if we do something like this, you can fuck right off with that shit. And something like this. And then we do something like that. That. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so the dual hull part that extends forward is actually, I'm thinking it's kind of going to be like this. So it's actually a little bigger. Like so. And this, for the sake of the model, I'll round that out, but I'm thinking actually on the big part, I want this whole slope to go all the way up to here. So it'll actually look like this. Right? Let's get rid of that. So kind of like that. All right. So basically like this, and this would be this guy. And yeah. I think. I think I like this. Yeah. I think I might do something like that, and then I can maybe carve out little areas for turrets or something. So they'll be slightly elevated. Oh, hello, faction. Faction. Hello there. Yes. New DLC means the game is still in development. I wholeheartedly agree. Yeah, I don't have anything to add. I agree. You have tried and failed to build that in SC. Oh, I've missed some. The Teton ships. Oh, that must be from the Homeworld stuff. Nice. No beam cannon. Yeah, I wish we had beam cannon. All right, I think this is In order for, so this is the central core on the model over here. Well, first of all, the dimensions are wrong. This is 3 by 3 by 1. And that's a fucking square. So you failed, Patrick. All right, so let's cut this down. Let's see. 1, 2, 3 here. All right. Does that do it? Let's see. All right, 1. All right, there's 4. 4. And 4. Okay, so gonna make my cube. Oh, you know, I was just thinking, funny enough, the upcoming update has 5x5 structural panels or whatever. I could make these cubes with those. All right, there's my cube. You can fuck off. All right, so here I want 3 by 3 by 1. So, all right, there's 2. There's 3. That seems like a useful thing to keep around. So we'll put that there. All right, so there's 1, or 2, and 3. Okay. There's my central core. As a matter of fact, why don't I just keep using my giant squares? Because I do like the proportions here. So what do we have? Got 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, and 4 directly off the front of that. Come here, you. All right, and 1. Fuck me. Ah, there's no undo. Oh, fuck. All right, let's try it again. Copy. All right, and 1, and then 2, 3, 4. Do the same over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've never ever used this approach before, although this does kind of remind me of I don't know, you like to build with like modules. You design these kind of all these modules that are like 9 by 9 cubes, I think. And then your big warships, you're like, well, you can fit 3 refinery modules in or whatever. This kind of seems similar. Homeworld, yeah, got you. Most players play in 2D, leaving their top and bottom exposed. Yeah, his tactics do some. What is the quote? His tactics do suggest a two-dimensional thinking from Wrath of Khan. That's 2. There's fuck. Well, shit. All right, there's 3, 4, and then we went back 1, so there's 5. And then over here we had 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. Cool. So we've got 2 off the center in the back. All right, so that'll be 1 and 2. Okay. Well, these slopey bits are going to be a little tricky. I guess, let's see. How would I do this? Why do I feel like I'm playing Space Engineers 2? Building very big things out of little blocks. Alright, here we go. Here we go. How do I want to do this? There we go. Boop. Alright, so we got you. Here. There we go. That one. All right. There's my angle piece. So this one is down. And the next one is up. And what I'm hoping is that when I'm done, or when I'm done with this part, it'll be kind of a trivial thing to, yeah, I don't even want to say it. It sounds dumb. I'm hoping this will facilitate me kind of building out the design properly, but I am not confident that'll be true. So, boop. And boop. All right, we'll definitely have plenty of space for the nacelles. That is for sure. So I'm using just 2. Okay. Yeah. So we got this here. And I may just end up with a big blocky chonker scaled up model. Let's see. I think it's interesting how the mind works, because at the model that I made, all the proportions looked great. And I think it's because your brain adjusts things, you know? Because here at this larger scale, the proportions don't really feel as good. Yeah. It's all right, though. We're going to stick to the plan. All right, so I really don't want to make giant versions of these blocks here, but I will do the frame. I'll do the edges so I have an idea. So here we're going to do 1, 2. Oh. That one. And then blue. All right. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we'll go here. And then 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, and 3. Boop. There we go. All right, so you, and you. that one, and that one, and that one. All right. All right, there's two, and then 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, so that one, that one, that one, that one. Here, here, here. Now, I really like designs where the turrets are kind of recessed into sloped areas. I'm not very good at it, but I like it. Trying to think. Yeah. Yeah, here. I did do it on this. So here, so I like this kind of thing here. Now I don't think this is done particularly well, but I like the idea. You've got sloped, sloped hole, and then there's a little either the cupola. What's the term for it? Like, well, it's a little recessed emplacement, call it whatever it's called. I do like that. I don't like when it has to extend out like this. So I will be doing my best to avoid that. But anyway. But this large area should give me lots of opportunity to kind of build like that. All right. I don't think this has quite the length of the ships you guys use, but it definitely seems to have the sort of like hulk, the presence. I'm sure as soon as I pull up next to y'all, it won't be, it'll look tiny, but that's okay. All right, so we're going to do this. All right, now we do come out a full block forward, and then we slope back the same way. Okay, so we're going to do that. So here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then here 5. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. You like the way I'm doing this? Well, it's I mean, cool. I'm glad you find it interesting. I just hope it works. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 2, 3. I mean, really, like most of the approaches that I use for like, especially for large ships, are just crutches because I can't like it's one thing to take a shape that exists and be like, oh, this edge is too too harsh. Like let's add curves or slopes to it or whatever. But it's another entirely to be like, how do I create that shape in the first place? So all the stuff you see me do, it's like it's a crutch because it's really hard for me to do that. All right, cool. So here, so these would be like, I'll do 2 rows. Wait a second. All right. All right. So here, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work either. That'll work. There we go. Yeah, the order of magnitude is huge. And yes, avoiding the 90-degree angles. Yeah. what I try and think about is what is the angle that's going to be facing the enemy, and keep that from being like a head-on, preferably a very sloped angle, but at the very least not a direct, like if the enemy's facing that way, I don't want armor like that. Anything else is acceptable. Even if it's not ideal, it's acceptable. All right, that's not going to work. All right, here. And there we go. All right, one, and then one. And then my favorite piece, not sure why, but it is. All right, so we got that guy there. And we'll go ahead and throw this here just so we know. All right. So here we go. 1, 2, and then 1 and 2. All right. So that is the front. And I like the fact that I do have big spaces in here. So if I want forward-facing weaponry, like railguns or something, I've got space to mount it, and yeah, enough said. All right, whew. Tired already. All right, here we go. I'm gonna put a layer of this here, and I'm gonna put a layer down here as well, just to sort of frame it up. I'm not going to do the whole thing. Not yet, anyway. I'm hoping at some point, what tends to happen for me is kind of like when I was mocking up this, is I've kind of going to do one thing, and then I just drew like a row of blocks, and was like, oh wait, you've got catamarans and twin hulls and all this, and ended up with this. So I'm kind of hoping something similar will happen over here, so I'm not filling it in, because I'm hoping to sort of see some designs that sort of jump out at me, and I go, oh, this is the base design, the base shape, but what I really want to do is different, All right, you go over there. You're a good cube. Okay, so all right, back here we've got the slopes on the aft side, which mirror the front. And then we've got that half slope there. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Oh my goodness. All right, here we go. That one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. And here, and then you. All right, cool. No. There we go. All right, so this will, yeah. I will bring this down to the hull. Yeah. All right, we'll do this. That. There we go. Awesome. All right, I'm gonna bring this forward. Here. Ah, crap. That one, got that one there. We'll get you here. Oh, let's see. Do you. There we go. And these guys. I don't know why, but I don't like these blocks. It's so weird to like and dislike blocks, and yet I do. All right, cool. There's that. And oh, actually, so on the model, I didn't put these pieces here. I did a slope going out this way. Okay. So that means I would need to start a half slope in the middle. Yeah. And then here. 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 And then there. All right. So that's the model. Okay. My ship's almost done. I just got to slap some reactors in it and cover it with turrets. I guess gyros and thrusters too. All right. That is the fully recreated model though, right? Yeah. All right. You fuck right off. All right, I guess we're done with that, and we're done with that. So, how do I want to move forward on this? So what I'm thinking about is smashing my face into it. Okay. I know the bridge, like the actual flying, or yeah, the actual like bridge that I fly from, that'll actually be like inside, but I usually like to have an observation bridge to fly from as well for like non-combat. Um, I would want to say, oh, it'll be right there, but that is shit for visibility. All right. Let's do some basic filling. I don't expect this to stay, but I think it might help me. I'm sort of thinking I might want to create some negative space here by carving out this area here. Let's see. Oh, yeah. All right, and then I also think I want to soften the edges on these sharp angles up here. So the question is, do we go for the opposite angle? Like so. Or do we go for the flatter angle? I think the flatter angle. I don't normally like to put the same angle back to back, which is what would be if we went with this one, because these two pieces are the same. I can't put my finger on why. From a technical perspective, I just know that it doesn't look right to me. So we can do that, I think. Sure. I will kill all that. Get you down there. And 5. Boop. All right. Cool. Yeah, we have the mirroring on. All right, great. I try not to get too focused on small details at like when I'm still working out the basic shapes. But sometimes I find that a small detail like that corner here is kind of distracting. I don't know why, like I keep seeing it. So I'm like, all right, let's get rid of that so I'm not looking at it anymore. So, it also can sometimes help me find like the direction I want to go with the design. It's like if I come here and I throw this on, I tend to do very simple shapes like this a lot. Something about that I find aesthetically pleasing. All right. Okay, let's see. I'm thinking I might do... I can't decide if I want to do like a negative space here. Like by like one layer, right? So it'll be like this. That's actually kind of deep. But maybe of course the only problem with this route is that I'm creating shot traps. So these are places where a shot could hit, like an incoming shot could hit at this angle here and then go wing and still hit the ship. So not really the most ideal strategy design-wise. But I find that in many cases I do tend to let aesthetics win out over the like super optimized designs. I don't want to do something that's egregiously like bad design, but I don't mind the little flaws. I feel like those give ships character. This isn't bad. All right. It does introduce this problem here. I don't like having different angled slopes follow each other because it looks like a lot of times when I do it anyways, like this looks like what I really wanted was a curve, but we didn't have any, so I'm trying to approximate it. I don't usually like how that looks. But maybe it's okay. Yes, it does create a problem of placing turrets in here now. Although I'm not opposed to, like, a lot of times what I'll do, or the way I think about what I'm going to do is I'm designing the hull, and then I don't have a problem coming back later and saying, I want a turret. I want a turret right here. Bam, 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 bam. That's fine. My turret goes right there. I don't mind doing that because I know that that's kind of how like real shit's designed sometimes. Like they'll do like the main shape and they're like, oh, we need a hole over here, right? Done. So I don't really mind, but you're right. It's not a it, adding turrets will break the lines. I find that usually works out okay. I think it makes it look very like a design that has kind of evolved or gone through revisions by like multiple designers or policymakers or whatever, which is kind of what really happens. If you there's an old movie called The Pentagon Wars, and it's a dark comedy about how the Bradley fighting vehicle was created, and I think it's got Dan Aykroyd in it, who was like, I think he was like one of the Blues Brothers, and it's a big name. I can't think of anything else he's been in, but anyway, it's a it's a dark comedy about the creation of the M2 Bradley fighting vehicle. It's the U.S. Tracked vehicle. Everyone calls it a tank. Who's not got military background will call it a tank because it has tracks, but it's not. It's an armored fighting vehicle for infantry. So it's thinner armor, smaller gun. Does have a turret on top. It's got a little missile launcher on the side. It's kind of like, if you look at it, you can kind of see where they were like, well, it needs to be tracked. Well, it needs to carry people. Well, it needs to have like a big gun. But also needs to shoot missiles. But also needs to have a this and a that, and like ports on the side for shooting rifles out. And it very much looks like a design by policy thing, which usually doesn't result in a good design. But I find that this approach sort of gives me a nice, like, it sort of suggests that. So yeah, I don't mind just punching holes and stuff and be like, oh yeah, that was a good shape. Boom, boom. We're gonna put a thing here. You know. So I guess the short version is I don't worry about it too much. It's fine. I'm definitely not at the level where like some of these people who build like real masterpieces. I'm definitely not at that level. So I think people who are building at that level will probably, they would never do this, right? They'll have a solid concept and would never dream of just like, I'll just punch a hole in it. I'm not there yet though. I'll never be there. So I have no desire to be there. I'm happy sucking at this. Okay, so I was thinking some negative space on the inside here. Oh, before I do that. So the alternative I was thinking was here, like so, and we'll bring this down there. And I was actually thinking of having this extend outward. So, like that. Which is sort of suggestive of like, if you look at like a military submarine, they're like a big long tube, right? And then a lot of them on the side, at least the older ones, or not like the really old ones, but like I don't think they do this anymore. But there was a time when submarines, they kind of look like three tubes, like three hot dogs kind of smushed together. So like the central hot dog was the biggest, and then the ones on the side were they're usually like a little lower and then squished in, and they had this, I have no idea why they did that, but I just thought it was kind of a cool aesthetic. Maybe it'll come out too. If we came out 3, I could put turrets right up here in addition to on here. Maybe we do that. We're almost just extending it out one more block. I don't know. I'm going to leave that for now. Okay. Let's go in here. I'm going to put another row of these. I can see myself sort of not forgetting that all this should actually be filled in, so I'm going to put some placeholders here. By placeholders, apparently what I mean is I'm going to fill it in. Go. All right. So that actually feels a little short. Isn't that interesting? The proportions look fine over here, but they feel short over here. Let's get the model over here. Huh. Why do they feel short? 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. It's right, but it looks wrong. Huh. Isn't that weird? Do you guys see it? Oh, yeah, yeah. Sorry, I'm catching up on chat now. You should mention thruster platement. Everyone else ran off, and you have to get back to work. Ah, that's a shame. The only issue is not being able to play. Oh yeah, I saw that comment. Kelsey Grammer, IFV. Is that who the is that who's in it? It's not whomever I said. Yeah, it's an IFV. I said AF. I said armored fighting vehicle. But yeah, it's an infantry fighting vehicle. Appreciation of the choir. You're at 16,000 hours. Gato class. Gotta go to class. Yeah, I'll probably end up recessing the turret somewhere. Hey, I don't know. What's going on, man? Were your copy and paste blocks 5x5? Yeah, they were. They were. Yeah, the measurements are scaled up, but they look wrong. And you know what? I wonder if it's because of this. Because I pushed the design out like that. Yeah, okay. That's what it was. So 3 blocks. So scaled down, that would be 2.5. Or that would be just over a half block. So that would be kind of like if I had done this on the model. And it's still doesn't look as bad as the big one ended up. But all right, well, whatever. I think that was the problem. I think if I do push these outward, maybe just go the one set, something like that. I'll slope the front or something. Actually, yeah, I'll slope the front. I can do. Here we go. Do. Maybe like this. All right. You know what? I've spent too much time worrying about it. All right, back over to here. All right, all this can go. So that leaves 3 in the middle. Okay. I kind of like this idea. Maybe something like this. Oh, it's the same angle though. Oh, that does work. All right. Well. Right. Well. And I guess let's fill this in a little more and see how that works. Oh, that doesn't work. All right, here we go. And we'll do one more here. Whoa. All right. And then here. All right. Oh, you're gonna go help Gravedigger build his ship? All right, that's cool, man. You guys have fun. I'll probably be on later this evening. Oops. All right. Let's see. All right, let's fill this in a little bit. So we got you and you. So I keep thinking, oh, I wanna recess this, right? I don't like big flat surfaces with no nothing. There we go. With like no either bits recessed or protruded. It just I don't think it looks good. So anytime I see like this, I'm like, oh, we need to cut some bits out. You know, even something like that. That's why, like over here on the side, I was like, well, maybe I can recess it, or maybe I'll pop some out. Just got to break that shape up. And I keep wanting to, like, feeling like I want to do that with these big sloped sides, but I don't know. I think it's the desire for the cleaner or the more appealing aesthetic, as opposed to the just like the functional aspect of being, you know, for deflecting a shot. Okay. So kind of like this. I don't know. One, two, three, four. Four, you say? So we could. Oh. Oh, I don't have many more. Oh, okay, okay. I've done something different. Yeah, so we got gates. All right, well, whatever. We'll fuck with them. Oh, those are only four. Oh, interesting. Okay, these. This door is only 3 wide. Oh, okay. This is what I was trying to grab. Usually, well, it used to be my old setup. It was right there. Now the question is, why? Why would you do this, right? I mean, it's very sci-fi, but why, you know? What's going on? So lose peace? It sure is. Oop. Oh, I see why. Okay. There we go. So I have 2 massive hangars, or, well, 2 massive sets of doors. 4 massive sets of doors. You know, it would be very sci-fi is if these doors open and then these giant guns like extended into the middle area. That seems like something like a super weapon would do. That would be cool. That is a very cool idea. But I am trying to stay away from moving parts. That's the whole idea, staying away from moving parts. All right. There we go. Greebling. Yep. Yep. Can't greeble too early though. Every time I greeble early, um, it gets. I'm reluctant to make changes. You know. And then it's pain. And sometimes some changes, you know, you have to make, right? And then those get painful because you're like, oh, but I really like the thing that I did over here with the thing, you know. What am I doing? There we go. Oh my God. There we go. Jesus. Rotating them when you're at an angle always fucks me up. I don't know if it's just if I'm not visualizing it correctly or if the directions that the keys are rotating, it feels like the keys don't rotate in the consistent directions. Like it's not that they're changing as I use them, but they're changing from what they were like when I'm straight on. Um, that's what it feels like. I don't know if that's what's really happening or not, but okay. This is 5 wide. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is. All right. I'm going to come back to that. I was thinking of the possibility of maybe putting like almost like a conning tower. Um, it's going to narrow area that extend up a little bit. Maybe not all the way above these things. I think that would look weird, although that would be more practical. But just something. All right. Let's see. If we wanted to go inside, where would we most likely want to do that? Hmm. All right, go. Boop. This one. Kind of wanted to leave those for a second. They look like important structural pieces. Boop. Boop. Ah, okay. Cool. All right, I believe. Yeah, all right, these extend out to here. All right. All right, that's the front of the square. Okay. Cool. And extending back, yeah, we got some backward extension going on. And this will be, yep. All right, cool. Sweet. So maybe I should start thinking about thrusters. I mean, Jesus, what a mess. There we go. All right. This gets us inside. Eh? Oh, okay. Eh? All right. Boop. All right. So we have a 5x5 area. Yeah. 10. So what do we do here? That's enough to make a 3x3 enclosed, which would allow me to wrap, thrusters and armor. But the thing is, well, I have already conceded to the idea that, oh shit, these are not right. Right. So I've already accepted the conceit that the ship will be slow. Right. It's going to be heavy armor with guns, and it will drift in and shoot things and get shot and then be repaired, and that's that. But even so, I don't think 4 large thrusters is going to be enough. So then the question becomes, do we put a mass drive inside it? Probably. Or do these nacelles contain more than a single thruster? Which I think also will probably be the case. So if that's the case, how do they look? One, two, three, four. All right, let's get rid of the up-down mirroring. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2. So what if these were a little wider? Right? So if these were these. Hmm. And what if they were ion instead? Somebody found a toy. So when they were big square mock-up blocks, they felt powerful enough to move the ship. And now that I replace them with the actual thrusters, which granted are 3x3, not 5x5, it doesn't feel like enough. Even if I made all the nacelles the same, you know, like either all hydrogen, all ion, it doesn't. Oh, hello, Lulu. What's going on? Hi. I stand by. I think she lost a toy. Cats are so funny when they look at you and like their ears, um, they go they go out. What do they do? Do it again. Yeah, they go. They're like facing forward. I don't even know if you can see my hands, but they're like forward, and then they go like out and then down like that. It's kind of, I don't know. It's very expressive. Even though I don't know what it means. Not like attack mode ears, which are like straight out, but it's almost like a raised eyebrow sort of. It's kind of sort of how it feels. Right. Anyway, so it doesn't feel powerful enough. And if I make these, let's see, if I got really silly about this, let's see here. So if we went like, that's where it is. Now it's getting ridiculous. And now I feel like if I did that on all four, it would actually make them look small. Hmm. All right, we'll come back to that. Coming back to a lot of stuff. All right, let's cut a hole in here so we can get in. Okay. All right, so I'm thinking whatever happens, stuff like the jump drives will be back here. Okay. Hello, Lulu. Okay, so the interior wall is the outer wall of this triangle piece here. Okay. And I'm trying to avoid thinking of like building in the empty space, because just now I was like, oh, I should knock out the wall here and then build into it. Except these are notional struts. They're not. They just kind of occupy the volume or the general area. I'm not sure that's what I really want the struts to look like. I would say at the very least I would slope these. Like, where is it? Yeah, like so. No, like so. Boop, boop. Like that, all the way up here and here, and likewise on the bottom. However, I don't want to do that yet because how they connect to the nacelles is always a tricky thing for me to figure out. I can't figure that out until I know what the nacelles look like. Too big, I think. Although it might work if these angled inward. If we went here, there. And then these went like maybe here and there. Okay, now this is kind of cool. I I do kind of like this. That's a lot of hydrogen though. And if I have a mass drive, I don't really need that much hydrogen. Ions, as my friend I don't know likes to say, are the way to go. Hmm. What if we did? All right. So for a second there, I was like, well, what if I don't use any thrusters at all? I just completely rely on the gravity drive. Um. Hmm. That would mean I would need a six-way gravity drive. And I would need a way to throttle it. The gravity drives I build are usually pretty, well, excuse me, they're always pretty simple. They go real fast in one of two directions. I don't build real elaborate ones like, I don't know, an Arlen use. I kind of like this. The thing that concerns me, though, is I struggle to build engine nacelles. I really do. Let's see, though. Let's see what I can kind of knock out real quick here. We did that, and then if we did something like this. Okay. And then so all right. All right, what would this side look like? 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe a solid. Yep, that's what I've done on the other side. Let's see. I don't really like that. I do like the idea of this being a full block. I do like that. All right, this might be all right. Pull that up there. All right, they are 1, 2, 3 tall. Boop. Let's see. We could put them. Nope. Oh, I see. Okay. They won't fit anywhere. Not like that, anyway. So, could put them. So we could do like that. I don't really like that. I don't like that this sticks out a block beyond this, which already sticks out a block beyond that. Maybe if I pull it back one more, I know that'll... No. All right, let's get rid of that. So, boop. All right. If we do this. All right, that keeps them flush. I know that exposes them under here a little bit beyond there. What if we do like this? So we end up with the tiered effect. Okay, let's make sure we don't, yeah. We don't want to break the connection there. All right, so I mean, we could do that. And since this is the leading part of the nacelle, if the trailing part gets thinner, I think that works. I don't know about this part here, but all that works. That works. That works. We have a lot of empty space in here, but maybe we could throw in jump drives or something. Not too worried about that right now. Hello, Trek Comp Sport. Yes, it's a bit early to be trying to figure out what weapons I want to add. But given there aren't many choices, railguns are almost certainly, yeah. Most of my designs, all of my designs, use railguns. So yeah, that's not really saying much. I mean, there's only like 6 weapons in the game, so you know. Let's see. We still need up and down too, don't we? So we could put. Actually, we only need up or down because the other set of nacelles could handle the other direction. Okay, so how about if we put them down, then they have a layer of armor protection on top, and they have a whole other nacelle protecting them from down, and vice versa down there. But if we put them up, I think it would look nicer. And that's really hard to argue with. Let's see how they fit. We can do one. We can do one. Less. There we go. Oh, that'll have them poke up kind of nicely. I think that will look good. So here we go. There. And then the thing that I really struggle with is closing up the front. So we can do that. Huh. All right. Well. What if we continue that line? And then we continue these lines? No. So these slopes are great until you have to start connecting them. All right, so we can do that. We can do that. All right, that's working. I don't really want them to just to be flat on the front. I may end up having to go that route. Got that one and that one. You know what? Let's start with that because it's a solution. And then we can expand on it. Oof. Okay, it's not awful, but it's pretty close to awful. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay, let's see. How does this fit if we go and add our slopes? So we go to here, here, that one, and that one, and that one. Do we want that way? No, actually, I think what we want is this way. I think. Oh, yeah. I see. I see. I see. Because of the spacing. Right. If I move the base out over the ship here, it will go up over here as well. I got you. All right. Let's go with it. See how it looks. Away. Go. All right. So that one, that one, that one, and that one. All right. So that works. What are you thinking? There we go. And let's see, we'll do... Where's the end piece? There it is. Yeah. I feel like... these nacelles probably should be shifted to the left one block. Because the way it looks here, it's like, ah, yes, the strut goes up to here and stops, and then the cells are slapped on. There is literally a row of armor blocks straight down there. So yeah. Huh. All right. I do like how they turned out though. We got that. The front, you know. What if, let's do this. We're going to make a backup. Oop. All right, let's come over here and let's just do this. All right, so we got that one and that one. Okay. There and there. Okay. And one and that one and this guy and this guy. All right, so you're there. You'll probably be here and this would mean we go like this. Oh, that's a tough one to match. I think yeah, that won't work. I don't think actually yeah. I don't think there's a solution for this one. Okay. So if that's the case, let's see. So this will be here, here. Oh. All right. Got that. We'll get there. Eh. All right. So then, do we want here? No, we can't match that. Oh, wait. We can match that if we do this. We come back for a couple. And then we do this. I like doing this sort of transition. Yeah. I like that. All right. Well, All right, so then over here, this would have to be, whoops. Oh, thought I deleted something important. All right, so this is going to be here. 1, 2, and yeah, this guy. All right, so now if this hole in the cell shifts it to the left by 1 block, this piece be overlapping that piece in a weird way. That might be all right. I don't like that down here. I feel like this nacelle should actually be connected down here, going that way. Which would mean the nacelle would actually go probably up and to the right a little bit. Yeah. All right. I see. Okay, if I wanted to continue this line, it would actually be, yeah, here. Which makes this area over here kind of weird. I realize I've kind of started to lean into a fast, or at least fast looking ship. And I think I just realized why. Because the engines look good. Because otherwise I could just stay with the model, you know? And be like, I don't know. I guess I could put jump drives up there. Just big blocks of jump drives. Maybe reactors or something. I don't know. I'm not super thrilled about how these nacelles look, but honestly, I'm at a level where if they're like built, I'll consider that a win. Like if they exist, like if I don't have any, like I have no idea how to fix the front, or or whatever. Like I don't have anything like that. I'm at a level where I'm like, that's kind of a win for me. Yeah. So yeah, these could definitely come in to the left a block or two. These would come straight up. 1, 2. Yeah. So those are 3. These are 3. These could be the exact same nacelle, just flipped over. Like that one would go down there, and that one would go down here. All right. I do like that. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut these off so I can bring them into the left. 2 blocks. Go ahead and accept this as correct for now. And let's cut things. All right, if we come in 2 blocks. All right. And we'll paste that there. And then what I'll do, actually, this is really easy. So okay. Yeah. Yeah, this is actually pretty straightforward. We will grab this right there. And I'm actually going to slide that out there, and then you get like that. That's interesting. Okay. All right, let's do this just to make it easy. Copy that. And then come over here and paste it, right? Yeah. Yeah, that was it. All right, so then we're going to copy you, put you over that side. Put you there. And then put, and then paste. Just like that. Cool. Now we just fix these pieces. We've got this one, which was that guy. And that guy. Okay. And then you and you. We'll do this. 2. And then this. Let's see. We can do this. Yeah. And then you. Hey, that's cool. And if we wanted to, this might be overkill, but let's see. So, yeah, I think that's a bit much. I feel like something needs to be there, but I'm not going to worry about it for now. So we've got that, and then kill these. All right, so we're going to come down through. There we go. So through here. And let's try this and just see how it works. Oh, I just realized this is the perfect opportunity to use those new brace blocks that are coming out in next update. Okay, I feel like if I wrap those the way these are wrapped up here and then fill in the middle, that it's going to be too much. It looks like cartoon puppy dog ears. Okay. So maybe they need to go up and in a little more so the strut comes down from like where this is just to the right of that and like right there. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, and maybe that's the strut. Or maybe the nacelles don't move, just I delete this part of the strut and just extend off of this. All right. Thoughts? All right, well, I'll tell you what, I think I'm going to call that here for today, or for this stream. Thank you guys for hanging out. I don't know, it's great to see you. Disco Pistons, always good to see you as well. And then the new people, Fection, and Trek Com Sport, and there was the other one I struggled to pronounce, had a B in it. All you guys, thank you for hanging out, for visiting. And Balzi Darstruck. Anyway, yeah, thanks for hanging out, chatting, offering your comments, listening to me ramble. Hopefully I will be able to stream. I don't know when, but hopefully I'll be able to stream the completion of this ship as I work on it. I don't really have any idea what my schedule is going to be like for doing that, but I'm hoping I will be able to do that at all. So that being said, thank you guys for hanging out. I'll see you all later. Goodbye.
I'm leaving for Tar City. A short stay stretching to